everybody, Louise here with my 144 topics, and my topic this week is about real relationships. So I'm going to start this topic really casting myself back and casting my mind back to I don't know, many years ago when I was a teenager, or what it is, I don't know, probably when I was travelling. I can't even remember the situation, but I do remember seeing a couple and seeing them together and having an awareness of energy and things like that. I just remember seeing the connection between them, and I thought, that's what I want. That's what I want. And at the time, I couldn't even tell you what it was. I couldn't tell you why. I just couldn't tell you anything about it. I just remember seeing these two people together. So it's almost like a sense of feeling their connection as opposed to seeing it. And from then on in, I sort of set myself out to have that in relationships, which was something I don't know what it was at the time, and I didn't know how to obtain it. So now here I am, halfway through my life, and very aware of what that was. And what that was that I saw between those two people really was that presence. So I've spoke a lot about presence, and I've done videos about presence, so I'm not going to talk about it so much now. But, you know, really emphasizing that when I talk about real relationships, that's really basically what I mean. So let's paint the picture the other way. So, you know, we go out, we're out somewhere, there's a couple, say, having dinner. They're both on their phones or something, and like there's no communication, there's no touch, there's no affection, there's no connection. Okay, and that's the other end of that scale of saying, well, that's definitely not what I want. So in knowing that you don't want that in a relationship, but knowing what this other thing is that you don't quite know what it is, how do you obtain that? So that's really where my journey's sort of taken me through life. So I did some Imago training some years ago, and that was really interesting, and that opened a lot of my eyes to a lot of things, because what I learned there was that we attract partners into our life who have the same wounds as us. So if we've got abandonment issues, then they'll have abandonment issues. But usually we play out these wounds in opposite poles. So, you know, if I've got an abandonment issue and I'm feeling abandoned, then I might withdraw and I might go and hide. And if, say, my partner has an abandonment issue and they're feeling abandoned, then they might get angry and shout. So I hope you're understanding what I'm saying here. So, you know, it's the same issue, but we just tend to play it out in other ways. Now, part of the reason we do this is because it's giving us an indication that there is something to be healed. So I believe that, you know, people come into our lives, and this isn't just partners, or, you know, this is any relationship with children, even with, you know, people that you don't know as much. Of course, people that we're more deeply connected to will touch deeper buttons within us. So, you know, if someone triggers us and we're feeling something that doesn't feel good, then to me that's an indication that my partner or whoever it is has triggered that within me, and it's something that needs addressing. So, you know, every time that we get upset, then there's something to sort out. And that is the part that I'm happy to help you with, giving you direction with that. Because once you start to realize that, once you start having strategies in place to release energy, to clear energy, to let things go, to acknowledge things into your life, whatever it is, then you can start creating your own little toolbox to deal with that. And then what tends to happen, say you're in a relationship and you're starting to clear up your vibration and clean up your act as such, you're sorting out your baggage and you're releasing shit in your life, you know, things can actually happen there where, you know, you will find that, you know, you resonate with this person, or you don't resonate with this person as much, or you resonate with them more. So to get back to the topic on, you know, what is a real relationship, to me, presence is paramount. So, you know, we all want presence, and we can understand that with a child that's going, mum, 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 you know, because they're wanting that connection and that presence. So to me, that is number one. Like that's, you know, you want someone who's present. So, you know, if you're doing something and you're talking to your partner, or you're trying to have a conversation with your partner and they're watching TV or they're on their phone, okay, that's not presence. So, you know, you can be sitting there watching TV and you're not connecting and you're not present. But you can also be in the space of doing the same thing with that connection and with that presence. So it is a conscious choice. And to be aware of when you're doing that and when you're not doing that is the primary start to that process, and not knowing, you know, everybody's in different positions in different stages in their life. So presence is of utmost importance. The other thing is trust. So it's really important to have trust. So, you know, I've mentioned in my blog, those little white lies that don't mean anything can actually mean a hell of a lot to people, because it's not about the action, it's not about the behavior. Often it's about the fact that, you know, we need trust. You know, Maslow's primary laws state that it's one of our primary needs to feel secure in our environment, so we want to feel safe in knowing that what's going on. So communication is really important, and I've mentioned this in many blogs that, you know, my best way of communication is saying that this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I want, because you're covering all bases there. You're talking about, you know, what's you know, doing, thinking, feeling, wanting, or what, you know, however it is, and that's a really good way to communicate. And often we tend to think, you know, and I've done this myself, oh, I won't say anything, you know, but if you don't, it's the best analogy I've ever heard is it's like putting, you know, sweeping the dirt under the carpet, and if you keep doing it, you're going to end up, excuse me, with a big lump under the carpet and you're going to trip over it. So just addressing things when they come up, you know, being able to communicate with them, you know, having that authenticity of communication. You know, I've lived in relationships where I've had to watch what I say and watch what I do, and I've lived on eggshells, and it doesn't really work for anybody. So, you know, if you're in that situation, it's really valuing yourself more and doing more things in your life so that you can actually feel more comfortable being yourself. And, you know, if other people don't like it, then, you know, it's not really a problem as such. Though in relationships, we do need to compromise as well. So, yeah, communication is really important. Don't keep flicking it under the carpet, like talk about it. Don't talk about things when you're really reactive. That's always never a good idea, because we say things that we don't mean. Go and have a walk, go and have a sleep, go and for a run, go and do something to get yourself into a better space. And always explore and look at it, what it is that's happening for you. What is your trigger? Because often it can not even be anything to do with the other person. Well, it's usually never to do with the other person. It's always about your own stuff. Because as you start clearing your stuff and becoming clearer of who and what you are, you become more of an observer of life, and it's like, well, you're just watching your partner or your, you know, whoever it is that's triggering you doing their thing, and you're like, well, they're just doing their thing. It's like, none of my business. It's nothing to do with me. So you become hooked into each other's dramas less and less and less, the more you clear energy within yourself. So other things that help to make relationships really real is, you know, making sure that you've got quality time together. I did a blog about it. You can see it, Louise Plant /blogs, real relationships. Just hunt it out and you'll find it. And I've written some things there, you know, like date nights are really valuable. It's really important that you have that time, because we can get lost up in work and kids and bills and, you know, repairs or maintenance or whatever things that have to happen for an average household running. But if you're not taking that quality time for yourself, and also for your partnership as an entity. So it's almost like, as a person, when we're in a relationship, we've got two entities that we're looking at, you know, ourselves primarily, but also putting energy into that. So I also mentioned in the blog about love languages, because they're really valuable and they're really important as well, because if you find that, you know, your love language is touch and theirs is acts of service, and they bring you a bunch of flowers, which is gifts, and it doesn't really mean anything, it can help you to understand what is important for the people that you're around. So even with your children, this can be really valuable, because you can be doing something that's your language and you think that's just wonderful, and they don't even see it and acknowledge it. So we are different people with different values, and we have different languages, and we have different, you know, understandings of terminology and things like that. So, yeah, there's quite a few tips there that I've put on there about, you know, what makes relationships real. And the thing I can say now is that have that depth of connection in, you know, the relationship that I have, it's really amazing, because it just takes everything to a newer level of connection. So, you know, the deeper that you connect with people, the deeper the connection becomes. So it's actually something really hard to explain in words, because it's very much an inside feeling thing of actually just feeling really good inside and feeling really connected. So if you're in a relationship that you're not feeling is real and is working for you, you know, the only advice I can ever offer you is to basically be looking at, you know, what is it that you want in your life, what you know, sparks you inside, what initiates that passion within you, what ignites you, what empowers you, and to be following more of that and doing more things that basically make you happy, make you feel good, and what make you feel, you know, very fulfilled. Because when you're feeling more fulfilled, you don't worry about what other people are doing so much. So I've mentioned this many times, I'll keep saying it again, it's always an inside job. Whatever you're not happy about in your relationships or in around you, that is the gift in that. And the gift in that is that there's stuff to be cleared up, there's baggage that needs sorting out, energy needs to be cleared, because once you become clear of that, it doesn't matter. It's like things just don't matter. It's not important anymore. And then it's finding what is important. And you know, with the workshops, the video or seminars that we run, you know, we tend to find people coming in and they will say, you know, oh, my relationships, I've had enough of it, and I've had enough of this. And once you clear that energy and you clear the baggage and you clear the blockage of whatever it is that's stopping you getting close to that person, then all of a sudden people just realise the most important thing is family. It's connection and it's love, because all the rest of the stuff sort of gets cleared and you know, is out of the way. So I'm happy to help you if you've ever want any support in helping. Like I'm all for strategies. I like simple and easy ways to do this. So having said that, you know, it is an ongoing process. So I was very aware of my relationships and certain patterns that were coming through my life and attracting the same sort of people in my life, and it was the same sort of stories and the same dramas that were playing out. I mean, the reality is if you finish with someone because you're not happy, and then you go and find someone else, you'll pretty much guarantee the same stuff's going to keep happening, because it's an inside job. The work to do is cleaning yourself up on the inside first, of doing whatever it is that you need to do to make yourself feel happy in that situation. So I wrote in the blog as well that, you know, people tend to think that the opposite of love is hate. And my belief is that's not true. The opposite of love is actually apathy. So, you know, for me, there's still work to be done. If you're really hating on somebody, then there's still work to be done within yourself, because you find that if you keep doing the work and keep clearing the energy, you find that you get to a space where it's just like, well, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You know, you can't change it, you can't, you know, it's just the way it is. So that would be my advice for you. Yeah, just keep clearing the energy, just keep focusing on what it is that you want, and it is possible for that to happen. As I said at the beginning of this recording, you know, I didn't even know what it was that I wanted in a relationship. I know what it looked like, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to get it. So I've achieved that and created that, and feel very fulfilled and blessed in having that in my life, and would wish that for everybody. So seeing you always in happiness and health. Until next time, you take care of yourself and be happy. See you, bye.